Hi guys, today we're gonna watch the Gen Z hater problem. It's something about, I think, this type of memes like, what's a father? What's, sorry, I forgot. I even forget, like...
Do you have any relationship with your father?
What's that? What's a father?
Yeah, something like that. So today we're gonna watch about this, what's saying this gentleman about this.
Gen Z as a whole generation is bad at a lot of things. Bad at not getting addicted to vaping and making up new methods to get high. Bad at focusing for longer than 5 minutes without having to scroll on TikTok for an hour. Bad at not ordering DoorDash 4 to 5 times a week. But what Gen Z is best at, its magnus opus, is hate. There's no generation that is as hateful or vile as much as Gen Z is. There's generations that grew up and fought in wars, and I swear they're still not as hateful as us. If the people that fought in wars had to sit at a middle school or high school lunch table in 2016 and get roasted, they'd leave with more PTSD than on the war field. Nowadays, it seems like everything that goes viral is due to some type of hating. Think of some of the biggest things last year. Drake versus Kendrick, making fun of Ice Spice, happy for the elimination of the healthcare CEO. Alright, that one's a little more valid, but you get my point. We've kind of thrived on hate like how the ancient Romans had Colosseum fights, and the crowd would cheer when it was a person versus a lion to see if they would win over bloodshed. I wanted to talk about this now because there's been this trend on TikTok hating on a certain rapper. Someone you all should know, like I could literally put a picture of his hair and you would all guess it. xxxtentacion. The speed X took over the rap game was something I think we haven't seen since he came out. This man was in jail when Look At Me came out and was going viral. He went in jail as a pretty unknown guy, then overnight became a celebrity. It was like one day on the internet you started to see these variations of profile pictures of X, and I can't lie.
By the way, I don't know him. Like, I'll be interesting to read his, not read, like, watch his biography if you want me to see it. Like, it's gonna be interesting, I guess. Like, I did listen to his music when I was a kid, like rest of us, but I didn't like much was into it, you know. By the way, I did reaction recently to his album mixtape. You can see it.
I was one of them dudes in school rocking the X profile picture. He had that cult-like rap following that only a certain amount of rappers have. Nowadays, his closest equivalent is probably Cardi Glazers. You got Ye fans, Travis Scott fans, Youngboy fans. But I would say out of all of them, he was blowing them out the water with the amount of grass he had on his fans, even just from my account. I used to be staying updated on everything he had going on, and he was always getting in some type of drama. So you could always check his Instagram story and there being a chance he's dissing one of your favorite rappers. And even if you didn't listen to him or didn't care about him, you had no choice but to see him because the social media pages were posting him all the time. I remember so many were trying to sound like X and even copy the cadence he talks in. He was relatable to a lot of the younger generation because he would talk about his depression and what he's going through, and also give motivational talks all the time, telling people to chase their dreams. The last rapper to do something like that for a generation was Ye, which is why when he passed away, it was such a big deal to people. And for a long time, people have talked about his impact online and how big he could have potentially been. But now, apparently on TikTok, people have been hating on him. Like, this isn't some small trend or something. It's a huge, big trend on there. We all know since X was always talking about his depression and his thoughts all the time, they would always use his songs and him speaking in sad edits and emo edits. We can never forget that Bart Simpson profile picture. I'm glad to say I was not one.
I did see by the way this edits. This was, I think this was pretty cringe.
One of those dudes rocking that. A lot of people would hear what he said and act fake depressed online.
My life sucks, man. If people only knew the pain and anguish I went through to be here, they'd respect me more.
Jimmy, your parents live in the richest part of Beverly Hills in a $5 million house. Them Bart Simpson edit videos used to go crazy back in the day on YouTube, though. And was X sometimes exaggerated with getting his point across? Yes. So people have been bringing up these clips recently, posting him acting like that back in the day and kind of clowning him.
Do you have any relationship with your father?
What's that? What's a father?
It's a father.
Mental illness, or do you suffer from depression? Do I think I suffer from mental illness? I think I'm different.
I can see pain in his dick, bro.
That's the last thing I'll say in the video. You can keep that in there though.
That's why Freud was weak. X is the complete opposite. X desires control. Controversy.
Like, bro, it's one thing posting him and saying this is kind of cringe looking back on it. To be honest, a lot of that stuff just didn't age well from that era. You could look back on any era and there's always going to be some cringe things. But people in the comments be talking about he had to go, or be talking about his music wasn't good. Like, where did this hate come from? That's brand new to me. Because for the longest, everyone was saying how talented X was and how far he could have made it. But now because of a couple of viral TikToks, he's all of a sudden the most corny person and was never good. This guy probably explains it best from what I've seen happen on TikTok.
Let's not play like X wasn't cool as shit. Y'all love to fake support someone, and the second like some bad shit come out, you're always like, damn, like I knew from the beginning. Like I was one of them ones who was like, I knew from the beginning. I was a day one hater, because that's not even a flex, dude. Was not hating on X before that clip came out. You just hopping on the wave. Y'all love to bring a nigga down, bro. Y'all love to see someone who's been getting constant love, and the second some controversy come out, y'all trying to act like he was bad the whole.
I think it's not that deep. Like, it's only meme. Like, yeah, people say like he was always so corny, but still, this trend is disappeared. So I'm right. and this is not that deep, yeah.
The whole time, when in reality you was just
But I'm just reacting it like, I don't know, months ago, months later. So of course I know better the situation, but still, you got my point, you know.
waiting for a moment to finally bring his name down. Why is everyone saying they knew he was corny when he had so much love and not a hater was in sight? Like somebody's lying. Do I have a father? What's that?
As soon as a couple people turn on someone, everybody's gonna act like they always thought that person was corny and never good. At the end of the day, back then, everyone was a little more cornier, especially if you're younger still. But like, do you know what we used to wear? This was the average fit back in 2017. It's crazy how in our generation, a couple of TikToks of someone being cringe go viral, and people shift from loving the person to hating them. There was a time when you talked to any on X for years, people would come for you.
But basically, even not Gen Z, it's much newest Gen Zs who didn't like see him, or even how it's called when you was Gen Alpha, you know, like it can be them talking about this. Like it's not that deep either. Like
I think what a lot of this hate is really coming down to is either those kids who used to listen to him grew up and are cringing looking back on it, and new kids are coming in who never listen to X and are just on him. Back in the day, would watch this and think it's the toughest thing of all time. I feel like with our generation, making fun of dead people who never did anything is a common thing. Like I remember when the George Floyd protests were going on and people were making memes of George Floyd. It wouldn't be funny 99% of the time too. It was just cringe. Another thing that showed me how hateful our generation is was when gender arguments and people started to dedicate podcasts to hating another gender. I think the sole reason why the birth rate is declining worldwide is because the people that run these stupid ass podcasts. In the past, you went out to find someone and had your criterias, then boom, marriage. But nowadays, people get swayed for a potential option because they had Fresh and Fit tell them otherwise.
This is a very unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think if you're in a serious relationship with a girl, she should not have an Instagram. That's cheating.
Gen Z men are boring. Men are boring. You're lazy. You're boring. You don't have hobbies. You're ambitious. You don't know how to talk to women. You're not respectful.
I think we're at the point where
yeah, I definitely see her hobbies like eating or
these type of dumbass people aren't getting as much attention anymore. Both men and women are absolutely tired of this. I notice no matter how much they fearmonger these things, saying something like all these girls out here are gold diggers and will pretend to love you, or saying all these dudes are manipulating you and are always ready to cheat. I almost never see these type of situations happen in real life. And if I do, it's like 1 or 2 cases I've seen in my whole lifetime. You gotta realize the reason why these people are saying these situations are so common is because they hang out in those type of environments. The average person is not running into this a lot of times. And it's showing more that the person that runs into this stuff all the time just has choices at picking. But because of social media and because their voices are so amplified, it's why it's a common thing for men and women of our generation to run around with these ideas. Another thing that showed me how hateful we are is politics. There was no other generation where someone's political view pissed you off so much that you couldn't be friends with that person anymore. I'm talking about the non-extreme cases, of course. You know, if someone's extremely insane on either side, that's valid to cut them off. Like sometimes people just can't be helped. But people will cut off their family over who they voted for. Both sides.
Why? Blocked.
I blocked my sister too. She the only one that spoke and she couldn't take her ass down there and vote. So now we're cutting off.
bro. But in this voting, actually, you can blame something because it's. I think it's gonna be same as here.
People because they didn't even choose to vote? Bro, what happened to the choice to vote? Only 64% of the US population that could vote voted in the last election. It's not like the whole country comes out every time. And our generation got the worst of it. We have some of the most extremely odd and insane politicians of all time. One of our presidents was sleeping through half the job while the other could wake up one day randomly and decide to take some away from us. And the person he was against was campaigning by getting celebrities to twerk on stage. If you told an American this is how politics would be in 1999, they'd call you a crazy person. And this all literally just started in 2016. Like Gen Z ain't have a single chance for peace. Millennials had George Bush and Obama way more peaceful. Even though they protested George Bush, their protests are nothing close to the protests Trump began. They be filling up whole cities with his protests. And on the other side, of course, you got the Trump rallies where you'll see riding you've never seen in your life. The social media algorithm kind of makes it so you have to pick one side and one side only, which has affected Gen Z the most. It's proven we have the biggest political gap and worst arguing. Because as soon as you start to see a couple of posts relating to that side, your whole feed is eventually going to be full of it. And it's not people's fault. Social media has manufactured it to be like that. There's a lot of victims out there who unintentionally has had this happen to them and has shaped who they are politically. I try my best to distinct a lot of this stuff and not fall down any stupid rabbit holes because I'm not dedicated to either side anyways. To me, it's more of a problem that our generation doesn't even like to.
Bro. You don't care about politics, but politics care about you. It's maybe you will cry about this, but it's true. Politics will find you and take care if you don't vote for something, I don't know, something good. Like, okay, stop it.
People just assume the worst and think you're lost and don't want to talk to you. The bad news about this too is it's going to keep getting divided. When Gen Z starts raising kids, these are going to drill their beliefs into their kids' minds before their brain is even in a solid state. My parents raised me and my brother off the notion of not to talk about adult things when we were young, which I liked. And politics was one of those things because as a kid, your parents should not be telling you about the political and economic state of the world, bro. You should be worrying about playing Roblox and Fortnite and getting brain rot from TikTok. Remember too, Gen Z was like the whole experiment in the social media political world. So Gen Alpha next is going to be more divided than us, then Gen Beta is going to be more divided, than after that until the point of implosion. Anyways, that's all I've got for real. If you're a hater, stay a hater and make sure to comment something hateful. Let's keep keep this train moving. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys.
Yeah, I'm hating this. I'm hating this. If you're hating my video, put so much likes that I'll see what you so hating me, and subscribe to hate me even more, and donate me a lot of like $1 gazillion, and I see what you hating me. Like, you can threat me in your donation. Bye. But still, conclusion for me, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. Let's be honest. Like, it's trendy thing. Like, now, maybe it's gonna disappear. History is going to cycles, you know. Like, but about politics, if you're voting age, you should care about this. You should doing researches about everything, and better to even voting for small pieces, you know, counties, like towns. I don't know how to call it in states. Like, I think you get my point. So bye for now. Tentacion is a little bit was cringe here. Tough 2017s, bro. Okay, bye.